You're such an asshole.
So the YouTubes came out with yet the latest incarnation of the updates to their terms of service or their content creation thing. And none of my videos are like outright monetized, even though like I did a video on the price of gold. And we don't know. I'm like, all right, review. And so now this one, we're going to be talking about the Stoics or Stoic books. Don't know if we'll just see if this is going to be limited too. So there'll be no cursing here. Anyway, I have a pretty simple question. I didn't charge that much for it because I'm not a big reader, as you know. But I have read a couple items, so I'll help out. Hi, Aaron. Thanks again for your help last year with deciding what to do with my house. I'm 44. I am now a digital nomad, spending my time between Tennessee and Utah. After taking your minimalism course, I've been thinking more and more about Stoicism. By the way, if you want to take my minimalism course, which is somewhat strongly entrenched in Stoicism, you can sign up for the Clary School of Economic Philosophy. And the course isn't available right now because it's not open for enrollment. Well, you can sign up for the school and I'll notify you later. I've listened to Ryan Holiday's books and been impressed with his content. I checked your previous videos on Stoicism. While Stoicism is mentioned, it is not in detail. Could you make a video of your favorite Stoicism books and other resources you found useful? Thanks, Ryan. Okay, so I came up with a list. What happened to my list? Oh, shoot. It's in the description. Darn it. Well, I'll just go with memory. All right, so the first one obviously is Marcus Aurelius. I have read that because I think it's online for free, and you could just listen to it. But otherwise, go ahead and pick it up. It's a good book to actually have. The second book I would recommend is The Way of Monkey book by Turd Flinging Monkey. That was very germane, and whereas Marcus Aurelius is timeless, this one is very appropriate for the times we live in now. You could say it's a modern day book on Stoicism. I found that incredibly helpful. Actually, it just exposed where I was a hypocrite and failing to be a Stoic. Oh yeah, he's right. Yeah, so I would check that out. The Way of Monkey book. The link is down below. And I also didn't provide links to books to people who are dead. You had to be in a live offer to get the links. The next one, How I Found Freedom in an Unfree World by Harry Browne, that you can find on Amazon. Harry Browne was the Libertarian presidential candidate, I believe, in the 80s. And so he does come from the correct political philosophy. It's not philosophy, it's law. Freedom, leave me alone. It's not hard, people. But Noam Chomsky has a different rationalization. Take your money away. So enslave people and steal money from them. Got it. Okay. Anyway, Harry Browne wrote that book, which is obviously very pertinent and germane today. And that's really all I've really read. I did go to a Stoics club, a meetup group over in the Twin Cities. That was more for therapy and the predecessor to my anger management. And there's some good resources online for Stoicism, some YouTube videos, podcasts, lectures, seminars. You don't actually have to read these books, but there's some good stuff on the internet as well. So don't discount that, especially if you're like me and you hate reading. The only other two books I'm going to recommend are books I wrote, because in writing the first one, I didn't know it was Stoicism. And then the second one was just an economic observation I had. But the first one is Enjoy the Decline, Accepting the Death of the United States. That obviously very appropriate to today, even though it was written during the Obama second administration or second term. So you could go ahead and pick that up. Very practical to today's economy and actionable items you can take. It's not just theory like Aurelius, because he wasn't around today. And then the other one is Sanity is the Future of Wealth. And if you want a real quick, you want a bang for your buck, it's only like 35 pages maybe. It's just an essay I wrote. And it talks about how with money spoiling everybody, no one knows how to determine value anymore. And then the government telling people that politics and your ideology is what gives you value, your feminism, your environmentalism, your socialism, whatever it is. People have lost their bleeping minds. And especially now that the sexes are warring with each other, particularly women have been more or less weaponized against men and to not like you very much. That's driving people crazy, driving people nuts. And what is going to be the value of wealth, what's going to be real wealth down the road is going to be your mere sanity. I mean, we may not be rich, but at least you'll know what's going on. All these other people, like, I can't imagine what it's like to be someone who just graduated from college with their master's or a law degree who can't find a job and are in debt, which is millions of people now. But they can't have the critical thinking skills to say, wait, I majored in something stupid and I better pay off this debt as quickly as possible. Otherwise, my life is over. They literally are so brainwashed. They say, oh, it's the evil Republicans in the Senate. They're not bailing me out. Like, wow, you're like a third dead and you've wasted all your youth and your life is going to be insanity. It will be mental illness because you're just living a delusional world. And so that book talks about how you should appreciate your sanity, that you know what's going on, and maybe grab a little bit of vengeance to join the misery of others who are so confused. Why am I 58 and I can't find Hugh Jackman? I only have 3 other children from 4 different fathers. Why isn't Hugh asking me out? So there you go. That should get you going. And then I'll be honest, I'm not a big guy on philosophy. I think philosophy, frankly, is very simple. It's like you tell the truth, you make observations, and you live in reality. That's about it. And Stoicism is kind of the same thing. Control what you do and do not control what you can, and don't worry about what you don't. And there's subcategory, like death. It's kind of hard. That's about it. That's what's so. I mean, after you read those books, I don't know if you really need more. A lot of people, there's so much more to philosophy. I don't even know if there's that much more to history. Oh, everyone's trying to take over and be king so they don't have to work for a living, even though being king comes with an incredibly high death rate. All right. Just because nobody wants to work, right? That's all why we're going to war. No one wants to work. Am I right here? Swallow Blue, $2. Best book on Stoicism, The Book of Hard Knocks. Is that how it's spelled, Swallow? Is that an actual book? That's cool. I'd take, if you recommend that, Swallow, yeah. So that's another one recommended by Swallow. Nonstop Dre, $5. Do you think it's possible for someone to really become stoic without suffering hardship in their own lives, like poverty, war, learning the truth? Is it possible? I think it is. I think they can understand. It's a very logical philosophy. There's no emotion in it. Matter of fact, it's the absence of emotion. And I could see someone academically approaching it and saying, yes, this I don't control. So let's say you're living in the Winnetka with Fred. By the way, has anyone seen Fred? Fred Freeman Sowell Jr.? We haven't seen him. I texted him. I haven't. Fred, call us. Let us know you're not dead, Fred. Anyway, let's say Fred marries the perfect wife and they live in Winnetka and everything's nice and wonderful. And then their kid, unfortunately, gets hit by a truck. Now, let's say Fred came from a very pampered background. He had nothing to want or desire for. I think Fred is smart enough, and another person would be smart enough to be a stoic, understand the principles of stoicism, and not really suffer any tragedy in their lives, and still be capable of better handling your son's death. Now, of course, your son's death is horrible and you should cry, but I think studying stoicism, even academically, would help people regardless of it. Now, you'd have a lot more practice. You'd be a practitioner if you were a stoic. I've had many things, well, not many things, but several key things happen that I was just torn over. But yet I had to realize I didn't control it. And there was one big one where I finally learned it. I finally figured it out. And again, not necessarily knowing it was stoicism, there was a word for it, that principle I carried on through. So I was more readily able to identify these things rather than idealistically live and hope for that. So yes, I do think stoicism can be a theoretical study that would almost be imminently and immediately usable and applicable should the situation arise in your life, because it's just a concept. Once you understand that, you're kind of, I think you got it. But maybe I was facing death with that cancer scare. So, Swallow Blue, $2. No, it was a pun on the School of Hard Knocks. Oh, okay. Nonstop Dre, Fred must have found his 10 out of 10 unicorn Cappy. Yeah, I don't know where he went. Kind of miss him. I'm not even saying for like the super chats. I don't mind. It's not even that I miss the super chats. I just hope he's doing all right. He didn't text back. I'm kind of, I have to send him an email or something. All right. That's it. All right. There you go. The links to everything is down below. Obviously, get my books first, because F that Marcus Aurelius guy. What did he know, right? He's just Greek philosopher. He was a Roman emperor. What does he know? Oh, he wasn't a Greek philosopher. He was a Roman emperor. That's right. Technically, he wasn't Greek. One of those Mediterranean people long ago. All right. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.